There is someone in your life right now, or there has been, who made you feel chosen, special, like you were exactly what they had been looking for. And for a while, it felt like the most beautiful thing you had ever experienced. What you didn't know is that you weren't chosen by accident. Narcissists are not random in who they target. They are precise, patient, and they have spent years, sometimes their entire lives, developing an instinct for exactly the kind of person who will give them what they need. They walk into a room, and within minutes they are scanning, evaluating, not consciously in the way you and I make decisions, but deeply, automatically, the way a predator moves through an environment it knows well. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what they are looking for. 5 specific traits, and if you recognize yourself in any of them, that recognition alone is the beginning of your protection. The first thing a narcissist looks for is empathy. Not the absence of it, the abundance of it. They are drawn to people who feel things deeply. People who, when someone is hurting, cannot look away. People who instinctively try to fix pain when they see it. This sounds like a beautiful quality, and it is. But to a narcissist, your empathy is not something to be respected. It is a resource to be consumed. Because an empathetic person will always find a reason to stay. They will always believe there is good somewhere underneath. They will always feel guilty for walking away. The narcissist knows this, and they will perform suffering specifically to activate your need to help. They will cry at exactly the right moment. They will show you their wounds just long enough to keep you invested. Your compassion, the thing that makes you a good human being, becomes the very thing that traps you. The second trait they look for is low boundaries, and this does not mean weakness. Most people with low boundaries are incredibly strong in every other area of their life. They're generous at work, reliable for their friends, capable and competent. But somewhere, usually because of how they were raised, they never fully learned that it is acceptable to say no to someone they love. They were taught that love means sacrifice, that caring means always being available, that putting yourself first is selfish. A narcissist detects this within the first few conversations. They will test it early, a small ask that is slightly unreasonable. And when you say yes because you don't want to seem difficult, they have learned everything they need to know about how far they can push. The third thing they look for is someone who is already healing from something. A recent breakup, a loss, a period of low confidence, a moment in life where the foundation feels slightly unstable. This is not coincidence, this is targeting. Because a person who is already wounded is a person who is hungry for connection, hungry for someone to make them feel seen again, hungry for proof that they are still lovable. The narcissist enters at exactly this moment, overwhelming you with attention, with affirmation, with the feeling that finally someone understands you completely. And because you needed it so badly, you absorb it without questioning where it came from or what it will cost you later. The fourth trait is a strong need for external validation. And again, this is not a character flaw. It is usually the result of an environment where love was conditional, where you had to perform to be accepted, where praise was rare and criticism was constant. People who grew up this way often become high achievers, deeply caring partners, and loyal friends because they learned early that their value had to be earned. But they also carry a quiet hunger, a need to be told they are enough. The narcissist feeds this hunger precisely and deliberately in the beginning. They make you feel more seen and appreciated than anyone ever has. And then, once you're dependent on their approval, they begin withholding it. And you spend the rest of the relationship trying to get back to how it felt in the beginning. Working harder, giving more, shrinking yourself, all of it aimed at earning back the validation they took away on purpose. The fifth trait is something almost nobody talks about, and it is this: a tendency to assume the best in people, even when the evidence says otherwise. Some people call this optimism. Some people call it faith. In its healthiest form, it is one of the most beautiful ways a human being can move through the world. But a narcissist sees it differently. They see someone who will explain away red flags, someone who will say he was just having a bad day,
Someone who will construct a charitable interpretation for every cruel thing done to them. Someone who genuinely believes that people are trying their best. This person will not leave at the first sign of something wrong, or the second, or the third. They will stay and try and hope and give long past the point where the truth has already made itself completely clear. Here is what I need you to understand. None of these traits are weaknesses. Every single one of them, the empathy, the loyalty, the optimism, the capacity to love, these are the best parts of you. The narcissist did not target you because you were broken. They targeted you because you were good, because you had things they cannot generate themselves. Genuine warmth, real depth, actual feeling. The goal is not to become less of these things. The goal is to know your own value so completely that you stop placing it in the hands of people who are never capable of holding it carefully. Awareness is not paranoia, it is armor. And now, you are armed.